Hey guys, it's Ms. Tarka, and I wanted to talk just a little bit you should have a paper that looks more or less like this. It's got a map of China. It's got map scale down here, a compass rose up here that we're going to label, and on the back it should have all of the different things that you are going to be labeling. And it'll say what color to go through with most of them. So we're going to go through and we are going to just kind of, we're just going to go through this together, okay? So looking at our map here, the first thing we obviously want to do is we want to go through and we want to label our compass rose. So if you remember your never eat soggy waffles, you'll know that it's north, east, south, and west, okay? So that's our first one here. Going down the list, though, we're going to start with our water features when we come to actually labeling the geographic features. So we're going to label them and we're going to color them. So here we have our China Sea, which is off to the eastern coast of China. We also have the Yellow Sea up here. So up in here, we have the Yellow Sea. So we have the two seas. We also have a couple of rivers that we're going to be labeling. And these are rivers that kind of start down over here and then flow this way. So the first one that we have is the Yellow River, or the Huanghe River. I can't words this morning. So the Yellow River. We also have the Yangtze. So we have a couple of rivers that we're going to start with labeling. So if you were to look at the back of your paper, you would see that these should be shaded in blue. I would cross them off as I was going through. So we're going to take our blue, and we're going to go through. So the Yellow River is actually called the Yellow River because of the silt that it deposits. We've talked about silt as we've studied different ancient civilizations, specifically these river civilizations this year. And when we talk about the Yellow River, it's because the river itself deposits this silt, this really nutritious soil, if you will, really fertile, that helped grow things, helped with agriculture, and it was actually a very vivid yellow color. And that's why when it flooded, it would leave behind this yellow silt, hence Yellow River. We also have the Yangtze River, which is the third largest river in the world. So definitely major there. Definitely a major river. And so the area between these rivers became a really good place for civilization to develop and for people to start building these communities and coming together and having these advanced institutions and all that jazz that makes civilization what it is. So we're going to go through and we're going to label those, we're going to color those, we're also going to color all of the water surrounding. And it's all going to be a nice blue color, just so we can easily see what is land and what is water. So we're just going to go through, we're going to do that. After that, we're going to move into the land itself. And yeah, you can go ahead right around the map scale here and color that blue as well. That doesn't bother anything. So we're doing those. And then we're going to move into the land features. So again, just going to say it one more time. If it were me, I would flip through. When I was doing this for the first time here, I'd be marking these off like that to make sure as I get towards the end that I have everything labeled. So the next things here, we're actually going to label some cities and another region of our map. So looking at our map here, we're actually going to start with a couple of cities. So the westernmost city here that we have is the city of Xi'an. Here we have the city of Luoyang. So Luoyang. And then over here we have Anyang. So putting that in there. So that they're labeled, and then we also have a region that we're going to label here as well. And that's actually this region that's outlined right here, and that's what we call Mongolia, which was pretty culturally distinct in a lot of ways, which we'll get to later. But we have these different regions and cities that we're going to label. Don't have to particularly color those, so we're just going to label those, mark them off. And now we're actually getting down to our geographic features. So we have 2 mountain ranges, 2 deserts, a plateau, and a couple of plains, which all are, we'll label them and then we'll come back and we'll color them. It's kind of what we're going to do here. So, looking at our map here, got it back in place, we're going to go through and just kind of in no order here. So the Himalaya Mountains, it would be a good place to start. Exceptionally large mountain range. Covered it when we learned about the civilization of ancient India. We covered the Himalayan Mountains, home to Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. Obviously an important region there. But we also have another mountain range up here to the north, and these are the Tian Shan Mountains, okay? So we're going to come in, we're going to label those. So we have those. Then we have a couple of deserts. We have the Taklamakan deserts, a little bit of a tongue twister, which is an interesting one. The name, if I remember right, translates to something like that if you find your way in, you will never find your way out. So definitely foreboding. And then we have the Gobi Desert, which is important in that it actually, people would have to traverse this desert to get to a lot of the important trade routes for when going across the Silk Road. We have a plateau that we're going to label, the Plateau of Tibet. And this is an exceptionally large plateau. It actually covers like a quarter of China. So definitely important in that regard. You'd be surprised because considering that China is like the 3rd largest country in the world, it has a lot of different like climates and biomes and types of places there as well. So, including deserts, here we have a plain, the Manchurian Plain, and then the last one here that we actually have is kind of boxed in here, and this is the North China Plain. So a pretty busy map. So now that we've got this labeled, we're going to kind of look back and we're going to see that there's different colors that we want to label that we want to use for different things. So for the mountains, you can use gray, or I'm going to use a brown because it's a little easier for me to find. And I'm going to go actually over our mountain ranges in brown. So we have those that we're going to do. So I'm just going to take my brown, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to trace all my mountain peaks, and then I'm going to kind of just lightly color over the area. This one's a little bit more busy of a map than some of the others we've done, and so it's need to be a little more careful with the coloring of it. Because we're actually going to leave some white space on our map this time, which is a little unusual. So we're going to cover over the Himalaya Mountains, right? We also have the Tian Shan Mountains, so we're going to come over here, we're going to color those. We can immediately tell what we're looking at. I'm going to color the name and the triangles that indicate the mountain on here. For some reason there's not a key on this map. Otherwise a very good map, but for some reason there's no key. So we'll just know, just from previous experience, that triangles indicate mountains. For the desert we're actually going to take an orange, so we're going to do that for both of our deserts. We're going to just use a nice orange color, making sure that our orange is not too close in color to our brown. So we've got those done. Next we're going to come through and we're actually going to take a purple. On the key it's kind of a pinky purple, mine's more of a blue purple, so I just need to make sure that my purple is not the same tone as my blue, right? We're going to take this purple and we're going to color the Plateau of Tibet. So our only plateau is going to be in purple. Okay. Next we are going to take a, we're going to take two different colors for our two different plains. So we're going to take red for our Manchurian plain, which is right in through here. And we're going to color that in. And then we've got a green, which we're actually going to use for our North China plain. Okay, so we have our different plains, we have our different mountains, we have our different deserts, our one plateau, the region of Mongolia, we have 3 different cities, and 2 different rivers that we're going through and that we have. Also 2 different seas. So this is our map, just kind of a general sense of like the overview for our geography of China. We could go to the back and we could double check that we have everything. So we have the 2 seas, the 2 rivers, the 3 cities, the region. We have 2 mountain ranges, 2 deserts, a plateau, and then 2 different plains. So this is our map that shows the China River Valley. Hopefully this helps